Hello my friends, and welcome back to another video, or welcome if you are new. My name is Erin, and today we're doing another reading vlog. I know I've been doing a lot recently, but I've just had a lot of fun doing reading vlogs, and this one is also something that I've never done. I've seen a bunch of people on booktube do them, but I've never done one myself, so I'm going to let Instagram pick which horror books I read. So I think I had around 10 books total that were newer releases. There's gonna be a total of 4 rounds. The first round, I'm gonna show 3 books, let people decide, whichever one wins, I read. Round 2, another 3 books, whichever one wins, I read. Round 3, I'm gonna show the last 4 books, and then whichever one wins, I'll read. But for round 4, I decided it would be fun to throw the second place winners from each poll back in and see which one of the second runner-ups win. And I'll read that one as my last and final book for the vlog. I thought this would be fun just because it gives you all a bit more of a say in what I'm reading instead of me just choosing which horror books I want to read. I get to hear what you guys want to see me read. So, you know, just to shout myself out, if you're not following me on Instagram, the link is down below. I'll have my little username, I forgot what that was called, up on the screen so you can follow me if you want. I don't post regularly. I'm pretty active on Instagram, so maybe go follow me if you want to see what I'm up to. Not that my life's exciting, but you know, if you want to participate in videos like this in the future, you can follow my Instagram and then you can vote in the polls. But yeah, so for poll 1, I've already posted it. I already have the results because I wanted to start reading the book as soon as I started the vlog. So in the first poll was The Faceless Thing We Adore by Hester Steele. 13 Months Haunted by Jimmy Giuliano. And The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre. Oh my gosh, that messes me up every time. The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre by Philip Fracassi. And I'm here to report that the winner by a landslide, this one overwhelmingly won, and that is The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre. So this is the first book that I'm going to read in the vlog. Very excited. I loved Philip Fracassi's Boys in the Valley. I loved that book so much I gave it 5 stars, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. It's a slasher. I love slashers. So yeah, that's the theme of the vlog. That's what we're doing. I think that's all I have to say, so enough of me, no, not enough of me chit-chatting, because really the whole video is just going to be me blabbing and yapping, so actually I'm going to stop talking now and let Erin continue talking about books. I don't know, that made no sense. Whatever. Let's start the video. I'm carrying this team right now. Oh shit! I'm scared.
Nice.
Thank you.
Fuck yeah.
Yes! Yes!
See, we were just a little rusty.
We were rusty. We were rusty.
Our
We were rusty.
very first game went like that.
we're just
No.
rusty. We're rusty. It's okay. I like how the front person just lets it go.
Literally. I like how they ran to the front.
No!
Fuck. I should let it go.
It's okay.
They ran to the front because
I
the
know.
front person wasn't doing anything.
No, I know.
Is that how it feels like when you carry me? You're like,
Yes!
see the front person doesn't do anything. Watch that. Watch.
I know.
Floated right past them.
They were like, ooh! What?
God, I'm carrying this team.
You really are.
That was funny.
Oh!
What?
I can't. I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, that was bad. I lost 40 skill level.
I lost 17. Shit.
Alright friends, I'm here for a check-in. I'm about halfway through the Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre. And I don't like saying this in vlogs, like I really don't, because I feel like it's a big mistake and I feel like I jinx myself, but I have 5-star feelings, okay? I feel like this could be one of the best horror books I've read this year. Oh, that sounds so bad. I've had a really hard time. I haven't given a lot of horror books 5 stars this year, and I really feel like this one could be it. I really could, and I know halfway through, that's like, I don't know if that's smart to be saying it right now. Like, there's a lot that could happen that could make me hate this book, but so far it's so fun. It feels like The Thursday Murder Club and Too Old for This mixed together, but more horror. And those two books I absolutely loved. The Thursday Murder Club is quickly becoming one of my favorite series of all time, and Too Old for This, I just ate it all up. I loved it. It was the most fun I've had reading in such a long time. I'm getting those same feelings while reading this, so I do feel like we're in a good feeling area right now. Like I can feel it. I'm just scared that I'm gonna lose it because this is a chunky book. It's 400 pages, and for a slasher of sorts to be kind of long is not usually something I enjoy. I like my slashers very quick and fast paced, but there's something about this that is super enjoyable, and I think it's because of the characters. And this is so weird because I don't love the idea of aging. I don't like the thought of myself getting old. It's something that really like gives me anxiety, and I know that happens with a lot of other people too. For whatever reason, I'm obsessed with books that have characters, like the main character or just all the characters that are elderly. Like, I love reading these kinds of books. Like The Thursday Murder Club, I have the best time when I'm reading those books. I have the best time. I love the characters. They are just the sweetest little things. I don't know what it is. So I don't know if it's because that's the same thing here, that I'm just devouring it, and the chapters are really short, so I'm reading it like really quickly. I didn't even tell you what this book is about. I'm getting ahead of myself. We're following the main character, Rose. She lives at the Autumn Springs Retirement Home, and she's, I think, like late 70s, and she has this friend named Miller, and they spend time together watching like crime shows, they eat together. He's just a really good friend, and she's just going about her life in this retirement home. It's just about her life and the things she thinks about, her daughter, her grandson. Like, it's just about her life and kind of how she's coping living there, why she chose to live there. And one of her friends ends up dead, and she feels a little bit off about it. There's something there that's kind of like prickling at her. She can't figure out what it is, but it feels off. And then more people end up dead, and she's just like, there's something amiss. This isn't just old people dying. This is something's wrong. And so her and Miller are looking into what's going on. It's just so fun. Like, it's also not fun at the same time, because I feel like there are two kinds of slasher books, and I like them both, but for very different reasons. There are the slasher books where you hate everybody. Like, everyone is just the worst kind of character, and you are happy to see them die. Like, you just can't stand them. You like watching them get their comeuppance. Like, you think it's funny to watch them get, like, you know, murdered, which sounds bad, but you know what I mean. And then you have characters that you actually truly enjoy and you're really rooting for, and you kind of feel bad when they get picked off because you're like, oh, why can't everyone live? Okay, maybe that's just me. I don't know if other people actually feel that way. I know that sometimes I get attached to characters in slashers though, and then I'm like sad when someone dies. In this, it's so hard because it's these little old people and they're just living their lives, and then you have to watch them get brutalized, and it's like, it's like a stab to the heart. It hurts. It's like sad. It's not like fun in the way that I'm used to with a slasher. So this is definitely more on the like, oh, I really like these characters, I want them to live. I'm like really excited to hear more about their lives and hopefully see them succeed and come out on top. So it's definitely one of those slashers, at least right now, like the way I'm feeling, but I'm loving it. I also just realized that this is gonna count for Buzzwordathon, which is this month. It's like a weapon on the cover. So I'm gonna be able to I'm going to be able to count this for Buzzwordathon, which is exciting because I don't think I've used one this month for cover. What did I do? Title? I don't know. I don't keep track very well, but this one will be my weapon on the cover Buzzwordathon pick. So I'm very excited to finish this. I only have 200 pages left. I'm kind of scared because if this doesn't end good, which Boys in the Valley had a really sad ending by this author, so I don't know if he's gonna do the same thing and hurt me like that, which I'm hoping he won't. Philip Fracassi, please don't hurt my feelings, okay? This is a contender to be one of my favorite horror books of the year. I'm so nervous saying that out loud because I have 200 pages left and anything could happen. Anything could happen, but I am thoroughly enjoying this, so thank you to Instagram for picking it. Speaking of Instagram, I feel like it's a good time to put up the second poll and see what people want me to read next while I have half a book left, because I feel like by the end of the day, which I will probably have finished this book by the end of the day, once that comes around, I feel like I'll have the next book ready to go and the poll results will be in. So I'm gonna do that here really quick. I need to figure out which books I want to go up next and have the people vote. So that's the update, and I'll talk to you all when I finish this. Hopefully it's a good check-in. I have finished the Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre, and I think I can confidently say that this might be my favorite horror book of 2025. Look, I've been hard on horror the last year and a half, a year and longer than a half. I've been really hard on a lot of horror books, and I haven't had a lot of home runs, a lot of books that just fall short of being new favorites for me, and books that I really, really enjoy, or horror books that feel like the horror I really enjoy. It's no secret that I am a sucker for a slasher. I have grown up on slashers. Slasher movies are some of my favorites, so I love reading a slasher. I do feel like I am very picky with slashers, so I had high expectations going into this book, but also I was kind of thinking, is it gonna be what I want it to be? I loved this book. I had such a good time reading it, like so much fun. And it's been so long since I've had a lot of fun reading a horror book. Like, I've had books that have been fun, but they haven't been horror. And so for me to feel like this was a really, really fun book, that's just a prize in and of itself. I loved the way the slasher was done. They were brutal. It was like painful to read because I really enjoyed the characters. They're elderly. It was sad hearing about them die. Like, it just felt so much more like gut-wrenching for these poor old people who were just trying to live their lives and have a peaceful little life and enjoy their everyday activities and stuff. So I loved that emotional kind of heartstring pulling aspect. I do like having an emotional connection to my books. I feel like they do hit harder. So when horror can kind of meet emotional for me, it's usually going to guarantee that I have a higher rating for the book. But this is also very funny. Like, I was actually laughing, but also then in the next few chapters being like, oh my god, no, what is going on? I was really scared because Philip Fracassi and the Boys in the Valley ending was, that ending hurt, okay? So I was getting worried, and you can see my reactions reading the ending of this book. He had me going, okay? He had me going with this ending. I was devastated. And then finally when I read the last sentence, I was like, ugh, I was really scared. So I just ate this up. Like, it was really, really fun. It kind of reminds me of Scream 3 or the new Scream that came out, Scream whatever 5. I feel like those kind of slashery, like funny, haha, you know what I'm talking about? Like, if you know the vibes of those, it kind of gives that. And I love Scream, so I did enjoy that. Like, I liked the humor in this because it wasn't too overwhelming and it wasn't too much of a comedy, but like, it had a good amount of brutality and also like humor. I loved following the characters. Rose, I loved her so much. She was such a good main character. Like I said previously, it reminds me of the Thursday Murder Club mixed with Too Old for This, but like slasher. And those two books I gave 5 stars and I loved. So I think this was just obvious it was going to be a home run. I really liked the kills because they didn't feel stereotypically slasher. They felt kind of innovative and different and kind of fresh, which is sometimes really hard to do with a slasher. Slashers are very formulaic. I feel like you kind of know that you're gonna get blood, guts, gore, you know, brutal stabbings, you know, you kind of know what you're gonna get. But I do feel like this slasher was a good take on the slashers, you know what I mean? Like, it felt like it was doing something different. It didn't feel like 400 pages at all for me because I was so invested. I was so into it. And again, the chapters are really short, so it just flies by. I loved this. I loved this so much. I don't even know what else to say because I could go on and on, but it was a very, very good horror book. One of the best I've read in a very long time. I'm so happy to be giving this 5 stars because honestly, I felt like I was never gonna give a horror book 5 stars. Like, I really, truly felt like that was never gonna happen ever again. I feel like I've been so hard on them this year and last year, and I just wanted one to win and one to be a new favorite, so I'm glad that it's this one, and it's my slasher roots coming back, and yeah, it was a good, fun, great time, honestly. So I put the second poll up on Instagram, and the books that went up were The Possession of Alba Díaz, which I'm very excited to read, Burial Tide, which is one I'm a little nervous to read because I didn't love Knock Knock Open Wide by this author. I give it a 3.5, so I'm intrigued to see if I like this one more. And then House of Monstrous Women, I haven't heard anything about, but I really like the cover. And Darcy Coates blurbed it on the front. She said, one of the best horror books of the year. And Darcy Coates is one of my favorite authors, so that kind of sold it for me. But this poll actually kind of had a landslide win as well. And the book that won and that I will be reading next is The Possession of Alba Díaz, which I am so excited for. I love Isabel Cañas' writing so much. I really enjoyed her other books. I gave Vampires of El Norte 4 stars and The Hacienda 3.5, but it was more of a 4-star because I do think I liked that one more than Vampires of El Norte. So I feel like I have a very consistent rating with her books, so I'm very intrigued to see how I like this one. I've heard pretty good things and I'm very excited to read it. It's about possession, which I do enjoy in my horror, so I'm very excited this is the one that won and that I will be reading it next. I'm excited to see if this is my new favorite or if I like it the least out of the 3, or, you know, how it falls into my ranking. Because I'm trying to show you all more of my just random daily life, I got new shoes recently because I haven't gotten shoes in like eons, to be honest. And I got some Vans because Vans are some of my favorite shoes. Vans are some of my favorite shoes to wear. So I got the checkered like slip-on Vans. I don't even know what these ones are called. Wow, I'm like such a fake, like phony Vans person. I'm like, I love Vans and I don't even know the names of these. Sorry. I'm not really like into like shoe names. I'm not actually a big shoe person, to be fair. I don't really buy shoes a lot. Anyways, but I got the checkered ones because I've wanted these for so long. I think they're so cute and I like shoes that you can just slip on. They're no fuss and they're just easy, and I'm excited to have them even though they have Letty hair all over them. I literally barely took them out of the box and they have Letty hair all over them. But yeah, this is the one pair I got. And then these ones were on sale and I desperately needed a new pair of like sneakers. So I got these ones. I also don't know what these are called because I don't know the names of shoes, but they're really comfy. I tried them on and they have like a lot of good like padding. I like the heel of them and I like the way they fit, and they're gonna go with everything because they're black and white, and the other ones are black and white too. Can you see a pattern? They'll go with everything. So I got these on sale, which was nice. They were only like $60, which they were originally like 120 or something, which is crazy, but I got these for 60 and they're very cute and I'm excited to wear them and have comfy shoes and new shoes since I don't buy them that often. So those are my new shoes. I hope you're all interested in that. I don't know, but I like them and I'm excited. So I'm gonna try not to take a nap because I'm trying to get back on a better sleep schedule than I'm usually on. If you all know me, you know that I have a horrible sleeping schedule, horrible. So I'm trying to get back on a better one, so I'm trying not to take a nap today. So we'll see how long that lasts. But otherwise, that's it for the check-in, and I'll talk to you all when I have an update on our next book. Hello friends, so it's an update, but this is a very bizarre update. I've never done this in a vlog, and I don't know. Let me just explain what's going on. So it's been about 3 days since I've started The Possession of Alba Díaz, and I've made it exactly 54 pages. Now, I am a fairly quick reader, so reading 50 pages in only 3 days is really slow for me. I have been having a lot of trouble with my sleep schedule. If you know me, if you've been around for a bit, you know that I have a really chaotic sleeping schedule, and I've been trying to get it in a better schedule. I've been trying to get a better sleep schedule, okay? So because of that, it's been so hard to read because I'm almost falling asleep every time I read. I'm getting so tired and I cannot keep my eyes open. I love this author's writing and I've enjoyed all her books, but she does have like a slower start usually, and I'm just having a hard time with my brain and actually reading, so I haven't gotten very far. And we've also started watching Parks and Rec for the first time, which I've been obsessed with and I'm having a blast. So I'm very distracted and I think I'm putting a little too much pressure on myself to read this book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down. I'm not DNFing it, okay? I'm not DNFing it. I'm hoping to come back to this at the end of the video or after the next book I read. I'm just gonna put it down for now to try and get past this little like hump. So I pulled Instagram for the third round and we had 4 books in the third round. The first is How to Survive Camping, The Man with No Shadow by Bonnie Quinn, which is like a cozy horror. The Unseen by Anya Alborn, who I absolutely adore. The Macabre by Kasoko Jackson, which is a new release and an author that I've never read from. And Senseless by Ronald Malfi, who is another author that I really, really enjoy. And it's actually a pretty close race right now. It's really, really close between The Unseen and The Macabre, but The Macabre is winning. So this is going to be the book that I pick up right now. So I'm going to start this and give The Possession of Alba Díaz a little bit of a break. So I am going to start this one and hope to come back to that book later on in the video. So I know it's kind of weird. I've never done this before, but I need to like reorient myself or something because this is not going well for me. So I'm gonna give this book a try and hope that I like it. But I'm about to pack up a book for Pango. I just sold a book. If you want to avoid Evernight spoilers, the Evernight box from Illumicrate, don't watch this because I'm gonna show the October Evernight book, but I'll put it up here, spoilers, okay? So don't look until spoilers is gone. Yeah, the book that we got was You Aren't Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White, and I'm like 1000% sure I'm not gonna like this book. The book is very gorgeous, but oh, you can't even see it because of the packaging on it. But I decided to just sell my copy on Pango. It's still in the wrapping, so I'm going to pack that up because someone bought it. So that's what I'm gonna do now, and I'm gonna get ready for bed and start The Macabre so I can hopefully like this a little bit better for right now and see if it helps my little brain get a move on. But that's the update. Sorry if it's very weird and I haven't ever done something like this, but I gotta do something. So I will check in when hopefully I've read a book. hopefully I've read a book. Okay, so I finished The Macabre. I didn't like this book. I really didn't like this book. I think this is mismarketed so poorly. I do not think this is a horror book. This is 100% a fantasy book. I was shocked because starting it, I felt like I was reading the wrong book. Like, I thought that someone had played a prank on me and there was a book underneath this dust jacket that wasn't what the dust jacket said. Like, I was like, oh, this is the wrong book. No, it was the right book, obviously. I don't quite understand why it's labeled as a horror book. I think even the plot description on the inside of the cover is misleading because it almost sounds like a completely different story. I was telling Justin that when I saw the cover, I was expecting this to be similar to The Ring, but with paintings instead of like a videotape. So I was very shocked that when I started reading this, it did not match tonally, in my opinion. It does not feel like the same book. This is also an adult novel, and I'm not sure, I don't think it's this author's first adult novel. Yeah, no, he also writes adult romance. So it's not his first adult novel, but this feels extremely YA, which apparently this author does write. So this feels like a YA fantasy, honestly. This doesn't scream horror to me. I actually didn't find it that interesting at all. I'm gonna be honest. I read this really fast, thankfully, but I was not interested in any part of the story. I was not interested by the characters, the plot, the art, none of it. Well, the actual art inside the book is actually very good. I'll show you a little, let me show you a little. Like, this is absolutely beautiful. I think this book is gorgeous. So the art of the book is actually pretty, but the art that they're talking about inside the book, I don't find that fascinating. I think if you're someone who primarily reads fantasy and you like art, you are an artist, or you are like a connoisseur of art, you might really enjoy this book. Let me give you this synopsis though, because I'm not telling you what this book is about. We're following the main character, Lewis, and he is a painter. He gets his offer from this British museum, and when he shows up, he realizes it's not what it seems. They're actually testing him because there are these paintings called the macabre, and they need someone to neutralize the, like, I don't want to say evil, but I guess like the evil, the danger inside of these paintings. And so when Lewis touches the painting, he goes into the painting, and he's also needed to obviously come out of the painting and then neutralize the danger, right? So they want him to do this. So he gets roped into this like mission of finding all these paintings, and he's kind of teamed up with this guy named Noah. And the first time it happened, it felt so unserious to me that I looked at Justin and I said, the main character just blue skidooed into a painting. If you watched Blue's Clues as a kid, okay, I'm showing my millennial age here, but if you watched Blue's Clues, you know, when Blue goes inside of like a painting, and so Steve is like, oh, Blue skidooed, we can too, and then they like, you go into the painting with Steve. Yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt so silly to me, and I hate that because I know it was supposed to be like an intense, like dark experience, but all I could think about was like Blue's Clues, and it was not the vibe I think it was trying to give me. I did not feel connected to the characters. There's also a romance that I just felt was like tacked on. I don't know, I didn't dislike it, but it was just kind of bizarre in the middle of like all this stuff happening. I don't know, the art stuff, I was just, I don't know, I just wasn't that interested. I think the plot sounds good when you're reading the plot synopsis, because the plot synopsis makes it sound like a totally different book than the book that you are given. And I didn't like it. I don't know, I was kind of ready to get it over with. I was like, okay, I'm bored. I want this to end. I don't really care. Like, I did not find anything interesting. I didn't find any part of this 380 some page book interesting, and I hate that. I actually hate that, but I truly feel like this is so mismarketed, and I feel like if you're going into this looking for a horror book, you are going to be sadly mistaken, because it is definitely fantasy, and yeah, I didn't see the horror in it. Maybe like a dark fantasy, I guess, but I mean, I wouldn't call it like horror, so I don't know. I'm gonna give this a 2-star. This will be up on my Pango because I'm going to sell this book, because I don't need to keep it. It's beautiful, like absolutely stunning book, like truly a gorgeous, gorgeous book, which I think makes sense for it being about art, but I just did not find this to be an interesting read at all. So I am going to officially post the last round on Instagram. The last round is going to incorporate the 3 books that were the runners up in the other rounds. So 13 Months Haunted, Burial Ground, and The Unseen. So I will have the Instagram people voting on these 3, which will be the last book I read. I still have to finish The Possession of Alba, Díaz, which hopefully I can pick up now that I finished a book. Maybe this will be easier to like get into, but yeah, as of right now, that's where we stand. So funny that I read a 5-star book and a 2-star book all in the same vlog, but hopefully the next 2 that I read will work out better. So I will update you all when I have something to update you on. Whatever book I pick up next, I will tell you what that is, and you know, whatever. Okay, so I took that break earlier, but I have finished The Possession of Alba, Díaz, and I am so glad that I took a mini break and then decided to like reattack it later, because once I got into this book, I loved it. I think this is my favorite Isabel Cañas book by far. Although, to be fair, her first book, The Hacienda, when I read that, I wasn't the biggest historical horror person. I mean, I'm still not, like, that's never gonna be my first choice for horror, but it was one of the very first books I had ever read, so I think I was just really unused to reading historical horror, and I think I was just caught off guard by, like, the pacing and the story, and I just, like, I think it wasn't what I was expecting it to be, so I wasn't that big of a fan of it. But I think if I reread it, I would probably give it a much higher rating. I gave it a 3.5, but it's definitely a 4 or more, but I'm giving this 4.5 because I did truly really like this once I started reading it. So in this book, we're following Alba, and she is getting married to this guy named Carlos, and their marriage isn't one of like love and romantic feelings. It's more of a marriage that is mutually beneficial, because she has to marry. She doesn't want to be set up by her mom and forced to marry some stranger old guy who's going to, she doesn't want to be told how to live her life, right? And like pop out babies and not have control over what she does. So she enters this marriage with Carlos because they don't have romantic feelings and they both know where they stand with each other. So it's more of a safe bet for her to know what she's getting into versus something where she's going to be blindsided. So she's supposed to get married to Carlos, but there's this plague that is happening, so they're kind of like really scared. So her family goes with his family up to the mine that they own to kind of stay there and stay safe, and so they don't get sick and they can wait till the plague like passes, and you know, they can just lay low there. But the mine is kind of calling to Alba, and she ends up starting to have these weird symptoms like hallucinations. She just can't, she feels like sick, like something's really wrong. We also have another character that we're following, which is Elias, and he is Carlos's cousin, but he's like, he's not really liked. He's the black sheep of the family. He's like, he just doesn't get along with them. But he's there to make money, and he's kind of running from his past, from things that have happened. So he's there to make money through the mine, and then he can just like get out, get away from his family, like peace out, you know? Alba and Elias have this connection. They're kind of drawn to each other, and he is the one that kind of notices something's going on with Alba. So I love a possession story. I love them in horror movies. I like them in horror books. I do find that sometimes it's, I want to say like gimmicky, but it just feels very silly sometimes. A lot of possession stories also do that thing where it's like, are they not possessed, which isn't really something that I like. I think one of the books that I've really liked that has done that was Come Closer by Sarah Gran, but usually I like it to be, yes, they're possessed, no, they aren't. Like, I want it to be very concrete. I don't really like the hemming and hawing, the, well, like, no, just tell me if they're possessed or if it's not. Like, I just want to be 100% knowing through the book, right? I don't like the iffiness, feeling of being in between. I want to know. So I feel like either they come off kind of gimmicky and cheesy, or they come off, you know, riding the line between, well, oh, A Head Full of Ghosts does that too. So like Come Closer and A Head Full of Ghosts, which I did enjoy both of those books, but I don't typically like the, are they possessed? Are they not? So I feel like possession stories always fall into one of the two camps. I was so happy that this did what I like with possession, but almost elevated it, because possession is a story of autonomy anyways. Like, that is a major point in possession. You lose, you know, who you are. But I feel like this book really dives into the loss of autonomy and Alba not being able to control herself. She already felt that loss of control with her marriage and with her parents and just being a woman, and the time period, it's 1765. So she already feels those, and then to have another layer of this possession come into play. I think that Isabel Cañas did a great job exploring the topic of autonomy in here, and I really like that because it gave this possession story almost an edge to it, a deeper level that I feel like we don't necessarily see all the time in possession stories, or they kind of skim the surface with it, and I feel like this one actually really goes into the topic and shows you the different ways that Alba does lose her autonomy. and I really, really liked that. Like I said, I had some trouble in the beginning. It was really hard for me to get even 50 pages into this book, but I think that's because I was just struggling like mentally with my brain and reading. I don't think it was the book's fault. I think it was just a me thing, you know? So I do feel like I can't knock it fully for that. Also really liked the historical aspect of this book because I feel like sometimes the historical aspect of a historical horror can feel not out of place, but it can feel just like a floating blob, right? Like it's setting the scene, but it doesn't really feel like it meshes with the story as well as I want it to. But I really, really liked the historical aspect in this book. I loved the romance. I loved these characters. I loved the direction it went. Like, I had a great time with this book. Definitely my favorite from her so far. And I'm glad that I didn't DNF it. I'm glad that I just took a break and then came back. So for the last book, I polled Instagram for the runners up from the previous polls. So that was 13 Months Haunted, The Burial Tide, and The Unseen. Now, it was a close race between these two. Like, just a few votes were really what pushed one over the other, but I will be reading 13 Months Haunted for the last book in this vlog. This is the one that won, and I'm very excited because I did not read this author's other book, Dead 11, which I did hear good things about, but I never picked it up. So I'm excited to try this one. I like that it's taking place in the 2000s Y2K kind of vibe era, so I'm excited. I'm ready to read this last book and see how it goes. I have finished 13 Months Haunted. I was hoping that I was going to close this vlog on a really high note. We started on a high note. We had some rough patches. The last book was a success as well. So I guess it does make sense that this wasn't going to be a highly rated book, because why would it? But I did finish this. Let me tell you what it's about, and then I'll tell you how I'm feeling about it. So in this book, we're following Piper. She's like a librarian assistant, or like a library clerk. She doesn't actually work in the like stocking of the shelves of the library. She's not a librarian, but she does kind of like go to the school and talk about things that are happening at the library, and she kind of gets people, you know, wanting to visit, and you know, that kind of stuff. And she's visiting a class one day and she sees this new student named Avery, and there's just something off about Avery. The kids are picking on her. There are rumors about her. She's just kind of like off. She seems like a sweet kid, but there's just like a hint of something lurking there that just seems off. She doesn't want to touch computers. She just seems like there's something going on, and Piper wants to get close to her to see if she can help. She saw the bullying. She just wants to like make her feel welcomed, because Piper's new to the area too, so she feels like they could bond and she could maybe be like a person that's in between a teacher but still an adult. And she kind of gets roped in to what's happening with Avery and this malevolent thing that's going on. I really liked the nostalgia aspect of this book because it's very Y2K. It's taking place right at the beginning of the 2000s, and you know, the author really talks about, you know, specific websites that you would have been using, like Napster and AOL, and it's very nostalgic if you grew up when the internet was like very in its beginning baby stages. The reminiscent noises of dialing up for internet, it's definitely like there, and I think the nostalgia aspect was done well, like burning CDs, and I liked that. I do feel like this book is basically The Ring, but like through a computer and not a videotape. I think it could have landed, but honestly, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I think it would have been better if a different author had done it for me, because for whatever reason, I just wasn't that invested in the story. I think in the beginning when you were kind of learning about everything, it was pretty interesting, but after about a third of the way to maybe halfway, I was just like, okay, I don't really care anymore. Like, this is taking so long and I'm just not that invested. I don't really care to find out what's going on or if they're gonna stop it or anything like that. It comes off kind of like cheesy, and I don't mean like the writing or anything. I think it's just, it might be a combination of the 2000s with the horror. It just doesn't feel that like intense. I don't feel like there's anything writing on this, right? Like, I don't feel like lives are at stake or that there's any big evil at play, even though those things are involved in the book. Like, people's lives are at stake and there is a big evil at foot, but like, it doesn't feel like emotionally I feel like I need to care. I don't know, like I couldn't feel an emotional connection to this story. I was just kind of like, okay. It just felt like words on a page instead of me feeling like I could really see and feel the story, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the best way I can put it. All I can say is if like a different author had tackled this for me and had been able to inject that emotional connection that I needed, I might have liked this more. But for whatever reason, it just fell very flat. The ending, honestly, while I was reading this book, it felt like a straight 3-star the whole time. I was like, this is a 3-star. I don't feel like it's moving higher or lower. But that ending, honestly, kind of pissed me off so bad that I would bring this down to a 2.5 just because the ending made me mad. Like, I think the ending is so dumb that it actually made me like close the book and say, why? Like, why did I read this? Why did I finish it? Like, I don't know, it was upsetting. And you know, some people like an ending that makes you feel things, even if it's positive or negative, it doesn't matter. So if that's the author's intention, then I mean, they succeeded because I felt negative feelings. But personally, I like a really good ending, and for me, this isn't a really good ending. It made me very angry because I just felt like my time was wasted reading all of it, to be honest, and it just felt like a easy cop-out ending, honestly, that I didn't like. So I might bring this down to a 2.5 just for the ending because I'm actually mad about it. I'm just not impressed. I know this author's other book, Dead 11, did much better. I know so many people were obsessed with it, so maybe I would check it out. But honestly, this wasn't impressive to me. It wasn't exciting. I mean, I read it. I liked that there were the inclusion of blog posts and Avery's journal entries that like broke up the chapters a little bit, but I just don't think the story on its own did anything really spectacular. So that's how I'm feeling about this one. Sadly, we're gonna end the vlog on a sour note, but at least we did have some highs. We had some lows, but we also had some highs, which is very exciting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog of Instagram picks my horror reads. You'll have to let me know so I can do this again with different books. Obviously, we can do like not even new releases. We could do books that have been on my TBR for a while or something. That could be really fun. So let me know if you'd like to see this idea done again, and I will have to do it in the future. But if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. We can become friends, talk about books, horrifying books, thrilling books, romance books, manga, fantasy, all that good fun stuff. And with that being said, I hope you are having a great day, night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!